we were like Gerry said, probably 13, 14, 15 years old maybe. And when was this? About 64, Devon, somewhere in there. But this was pretty red line for us guys back then. We had Jeff Hackman was surfing Waimea when his dad Harry took him out when he was like 11, 12 years old. But for us, before we had the good equipment that Dick Brewer used to make for us, we were pretty scared. We would be creating those golden bricks in our pants kind of thing, as we used to say. But Greg was one of those guys that he was an excellent waterman when he was younger, and got bigger as he got older, and it became comfortable for him. He was happy to go out there and charge these big waves, and went to, I think this is the day he paddled out the outside reef after getting worked a bunch on the inside. But he was a pioneer. He still is a great man, good fisherman. It's great to see him, when he makes his appearance in Hawaii or at some of the get-togethers that Rabbit puts together over there. But when we saw that picture, Devon, we were pretty impressed that he was considering going out. Yeah. John was another great surfer there. These are some classic shots on a really nice day. Pipe. Yeah. I did see him, and it's great. John, thanks for your.
There he is, right there.
Thanks for your creative pioneership at the Pipe, man.
Oh boy, I was just starting high school, and this was quite an inspirational picture for all of us in high school. John was from Honolulu too, so it was kind of almost like a local boy, and it was pretty amazing. And when I first started surfing the Pipeline, he would come out occasionally, and I was taking notes, watching him very closely. Yeah, Sean Thompson always said when he was a Grammy growing up that picture there of John was what inspired him to, go on to become one of the greatest backside riders at the Pipeline of that period. And he said he went to sleep every night and woke up to this very picture. And when he finally, came of age and came to the Pipeline, he had this image in his mind.
Yeah, John, big guy. Aloha. And here's another guy along with John who was a guy that made it look easy. Butch Van Arnsdale, and Butch would do top turns at the Pipe, and with little backwash in the face and some offshore winds, and if you think about how tough that is, even nowadays, on a board that can hold into the wave a lot easier, and Butch was doing it on bigger boards and with a lot bigger fins and a lot harder to ride, and he would make it look quite simple, quite a a hat trick kind of thing, and so it was very easy to emulate him. My being a goofy foot, Gerry being a goofy foot, and seeing Butch do stuff like disappear in the tube or sit down in the tube, or and I also admired his switch foot ability, which I copied to try to take as many pages out of his book as I could, because being a goofy foot and there being a lot of rights on the North Shore, it was a real good thing to be able to face the wave as Butch did so well. Is that Jackie Eberly, Devon, perhaps, or it looks like Jackie on a. That's one of the old Brewer boards, I think. Gerry, do you think?
Is that a Pipeliner?
Yeah,
or maybe a harbor gun?
Yeah, the harbor, the yellow-railed harbor board that he had.
Yeah, this Jackie Eberly was one of the top surfers in our group. He was a little older than us, but boy, he could. He was one of the best tube riders of the time, and at a period where I don't think they even called it tube riding back then. They didn't have a name for it.
I think Val Valentine, Gerry, might have helped coin the phrase tube riding in a couple of his early movies there, seeing Butch and Jackie and John get behind the curl. And back then, because we didn't do too much of it, it wasn't something that we had a ready phraseology, to apply. So it was just like, whoa, he disappeared. How'd he do that? It was like a real amazing thing to have happen. But nowadays, it's fairly commonplace.
Yeah, well, as Jock tried to explain there about the equipment, that was what limited it, because the boards were big and heavy and cumbersome and definitely unsuited for a wave like the Pipeline. And it was more a matter of luck than skill that got you in the tube and the Pipeline back in those early days. You know, the Pipeline was mostly the wipeout section of the surf movies. There weren't a lot of guys having success out there, and you know, for every wave caught, probably, I don't know, 1 in 50 was actually made, you know, and the ride completed in the critical section of the wave. The guys that usually made the wave were taking off on the shoulder,
or like Butch, you know, been out there for, you know, dozens and dozens of days, and were real confident with the place, or had a 3 or 4 beers, and then it didn't matter. Hey, I could take off behind the curl here.
But yeah, it was the equipment that made it so difficult. I mean, it was really tough, and
that and not being real familiar with the break, you know, about the boils and where to sit, and reading the sets and the whole book on the place. Yeah.